with all sorts of info. So I'm going to call our meeting to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call, Mr. McGill, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Flynn? Present. Commissioner Grella?
Here.
Commissioner Siegler, I don't believe is able to join us. Commissioner Silverman?
Here.
Commissioner Swager Wilson?
Here. Okay, we'll start with Mr. McGill again, please, with any announcements and a summary of the discussion session, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Earlier tonight, the commission met in discussion session and received information and discussed the following items. We heard a presentation from the Mount Lebanon Partnership on the planned Gobo projectors. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have one installed in the near future, sort of as a demonstration. We received information on the recommendations for the main park site plan and recreation center. We received an update on the South Garage study, and based on the length that it took to hear those presentations, we did not have time for updates on activities of the various boards from their commission liaisons, but we will do that at the next discussion session. Prior to that meeting, the commission met in discussion session, or I'm sorry, an executive session, actually met with a consultant that we've retained for our fire chief search and had a conversation, and also covered some legal issues with our solicitor. The next meeting of the commission will be held on Tuesday, October 22nd. That meeting will begin at 8 p.m. in this room. In addition to that meeting, we've scheduled our budget workshop for the manager's recommended 2025 budget, and those will be held as follows. Those are held in room C, Wednesday, November 6th, Wednesday, November 13th, Monday, November 25th, and Wednesday, December 4th. Those meetings all will occur between 6 and 9 p.m. Those workshops are open to the public. Public comment is not taken at the budget workshops, but is accepted at commission meetings. Here are the ways the public can participate in those commission meetings. Either in person, you don't need to pre-register, simply show up at the appropriate meeting time and sign the sheets at the back of the room if you wish to speak during the meeting, or remotely via the Zoom webinar format. Again, you don't need to pre-register, simply click the link located on the meeting agenda on the municipal website. If you wish to speak during citizens' comments or during public hearings, simply use the raise hand feature and you will be notified when it is your turn to speak. That is all I have, Madam President.
Thank you. Commissioner Grella, community highlights.
Thank you, Madam President. Curbside leaf collection has begun. Your collection day will be the day before your regular trash pickup day. Monday, trash collection has leaves collected on Friday. Please do not rake leaves to the curb earlier than the day before your leaf pickup. Collection will last through Thanksgiving. If it is extended beyond that, we will send a LIBO alert and update our website. Please have patience as weather can cause delays. For a complete schedule, tips, and other information, please go to mountlebanon.org/leaves. October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. The municipality of Mount Lebanon is a wonderful and welcoming place to work. You can find job postings on our website 24 hours a day at mountlebanon.org. Tonight we'll be approving retirement payments for 2 longtime employees, Joanne Singley in Finance and Dale Schwegler in Public Works. We wish them both a long, happy, and enjoyable retirement and are grateful for their dedicated years here. Enjoy your families, friends, and travel. We're in the heart of the deer rut, which means deer are looking for each other and not for you. What makes that unpredictable near our roads, especially in hours of low visibility? Please drive slow and be extra alert. Here's a reminder that you cannot place any signs in the public right-of-way, including intersections, parks, and traffic islands. This includes election and affinity signs. Please place signs on private property with permission, of course. Additionally, tampering with someone else's signs is a crime. Please respect the property of others. The Pumpkin Patch Parade is Saturday, October 26 at 11 a.m. on Washington Road. If your group would like to be an official part of the parade, or if you'd like to volunteer to be a mascot in one of our costumes, please call 412-343-3409 between 8:30 and 5 p.m. As always, Mount Lebanon's Trick or Treat will be on Halloween night from 6 to 8 p.m. Make sure the kiddos are visible to drivers, and please drive carefully to keep everyone safe. That is all, Madam President. Thank you.
I have one late addition for community announcements. The municipality is continuing to work on Activate Uptown, the placemaking part of our Washington Road Improvement Project. Join us and our contractors with Pasek MTR for an Activate Uptown public engagement session on Wednesday, October 16th from 6 to 8 p.m. at 701 Washington Road. That's the lower level of Howard Hanna next to Clearview Common. Residents and visitors are welcome to stop by anytime during the session to share thoughts on how they want to use public spaces in Uptown. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, our junior commissioner, Clara Sun.
Thank you, commissioners, for the opportunity to update everyone tonight on the exciting events that have recently taken place at the high school and to share a glimpse of what's ahead. So these past 2 weeks have been especially eventful at Mount Lebanon High School. To start us off, one highlight was our September voter registration drive, open to students turning 18 before the November election, and the turnout was incredible. And we will definitely be hosting another drive in the spring for those who weren't eligible for this one. A huge thank you to the Student Senior Executive Council, along with all the volunteers that helped and make this great event happen. On Friday, October 4th, we also had two memorable events, the Great Alumni Recognition and our homecoming parade, or our homecoming football game. Before kickoff, we proudly announced this year's homecoming king and queen, being Lucian Mikush and Selma Bajorek. And during the game, we celebrated our distinguished alumni, Laura Catton, Paige Caslin, Sarah Monsky, and Lynn Scarlett, whose achievements continue to inspire all of us. Lebo is proud to have such amazing alumni. A heartfelt thanks to everyone who helped organize these wonderful events. And today was also a very important day for many students as sophomores and juniors sat for their PSATs. This national exam plays a key role in preparing students for future college admissions and is also a qualifying test for the National Merit Scholarship Program. We appreciate the hard work and focus shown by everyone who took the exam and wish them the best in their academic journey. Looking ahead, we have even more to be excited about. First up, the Mount Lebanon High School Orchestra will be hosting its annual String Festival concert this upcoming Thursday, October 10th. This year, we will be collaborating with the esteemed guest conductor, Dr. Stephen Benham, a music professor at Duquesne University and president of the American String Teachers Association. As an orchestra member myself, I'd like to say we're very eager to learn and work with such a respected figure in the world of music education. Following that, on October 12th, our marching band will present the second annual Festival of Bands featuring performances from our own high school and along with several neighboring high schools. It promises to be a spectacular evening in the school's stadium. And finally, on October 15th, the choir will take the stage for their fall concert in the high school auditorium. October is going to be certainly a very musical month, and we are proud of all our wonderful musicians. Thank you all to the amazing students, parents, and teachers who make Mount Lebanon such a great place for music. And lastly, students can look forward to the much anticipated homecoming dance on October 19th. This year's theme is City of Stars, and it's sure to be a night filled with excitement, celebration, and school spirit as we all come together to cap off this incredible stretch of activities. That's all it for major activities from the high school, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Next, we'll have citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for any resident to express an opinion on any topic pertaining to local government. The commission enjoys hearing from the public on various issues and learning about items to address in the future. If you have specific questions, we will try and answer them at the end of your comments. If we can't, we commit to getting you the answers as soon as possible. When I call your name, please come to the podium to address the commission. State your name and address for the record. In fairness, we ask each speaker to share their thoughts for 5 minutes. The community is as good as each person in this room. We work together to make this a community that we can all be proud of, and we expect that the dialogue remains respectful. We also appreciate the audience's efforts to refrain from any behavior that is disruptive or might intimidate free speech. Mr. Egler, you're up.
David Egler, 121 Poplar Drive. Obviously, the word got out I was gonna be here tonight with the commissioners disappearing. I know.
You're up there.
Yeah, I know. I think he feels safer.
We're here.
It's like I'm at a seance here.
That's right.
Talking to the other side. I'm gonna go a little bit in reverse order here. I noticed Joanne Singley's name on here. Brings back memories. I hired her back, I believe, in the late 1990s. Here, a very good employee at the time, and continuing 21 more years after I left. I wish her very well in her retirement. I'm sure she'll enjoy it. Big loss for the municipality there. Just a question. I see an item coming up for public hearing later in a month on the purchasing, and I saw the reasons in the thing here. Was there anything in particular that prompted that? I know there looked like there's some corrections or some changes related to the percentage. Was there anything in particular prompts this, or just an update, or what caused this to be an agenda item?
I was going to defer that to the solicitor.
The purchasing
Yeah.
code? The purchasing code?
Yes.
Yeah.
The state updated the borough code, First Desk Township Code in the last 10 years. And it just, I'll say, clarified things like software. And then once energy was deregulated, it took the exception out from a utility where you could only buy it once and you don't have to bid that.
Geez, I did that back in the 1980s.
Well,
There was
I
no
guess it
questions
is-
at that time, but.
Right. It's
Uh,
changed.
No, like you said,
Yes.
this is, I've
You
been
got it.
meaning
You got it
to
right,
raise this,
basically.
especially with the software. I mean, because that's copyrighted material, you don't have to bid, and the software is the biggest one that keeps coming up.
Okay. I am gonna speak on something on the capital improvement. I was hoping that there would be a copy. There's no copies of the capital improvement or budget at the counter. It'd be nice if they were there, because it'd be something that I could have referred to tonight. I do have the one page. To give forewarning, I will be speaking about page 46 in your capital improvement program, which I hope everybody carries with them religiously. My last question is related somewhat to that. I don't know what you call it now, the old Poplar Grove, whatever, Pennsylvania Boulevard development. I know the approval's done, what, almost 2 years ago now? I haven't heard anything since. Is there anything going on? I think the last I heard it was 5 2-unit built structures. Does that sound right?
I don't know if Mr. McMeans wants to speak to that Pennsylvania Boulevard development.
There's a plan development plan for 5 duplexes on that site, and we're still working through some engineering and technical issues with the developer. The land development plan.
Is there any kind of timetable at this point? I know the neighbors have been asking me if I've heard anything, and I haven't been around, so I didn't know. All right, I thank you, and I'll be back.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, is there anybody online?
Nobody online.
All right, great. We will go to Mr. Grella for item number 4, please.
Thank you, Madam President. In consideration of the minutes from the adjourned meeting held September 24, 2024, I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, Commissioner Silverman.
Thank you, Madam President. Public hearing on Capital Improvement Program, CIP. As required by the charter, the Capital Improvement Program, CIP, for 2025 to 2029 was submitted to Commission on August 1, 2024. A public hearing is required to be held on this program prior to the issuance of the manager's recommended budget.
We will conduct the public hearing. And first on the list is Mr. Egler.
David Egler, 121 Poplar Drive. You mentioned first on the list. Unfortunately, the only one on the list but I think I'm used to that, and it's a shame with how much money's in that capital improvement program in this town, that there's so little interest of people coming up and speaking about it, but I could probably spend all day here going over a lot of the different items there with comments and that, but I'm gonna just take the top one that's near and dear to my heart. Page 46, the Pennsylvania Boulevard Development. I've been speaking on this for nearly quarter century now. That's a long time. I keep bringing it up with different commissioners, and I'm doing it again now. This is something that's long overdue. I'm looking at the cost figures in there. I really question those figures. I'd like to see where those figures came from. The land acquisition back in the day, the solicitor had looked at it, and I had seen written information on it, approximately mid-teens, for the acquisition. I know inflation's really been crazy here lately, but going up to 70,000 sounds a bit excessive. I'm still wondering, you know, as far as which way would be better, eminent domain or sheriff's sale. Those properties, 17 properties there have been delinquent for anywhere from, well, a couple of them under a half century, but some of them were over 100 years ago. So obviously these people are deceased. They haven't been around. You're never going to find them. You're not going to find any relatives. I can't see why we can't proceed and simply acquire these properties in some manner. I can't seem to get a good answer on which would be the best way to go. I also mention every year, has there been any discussion with the school district or the county and wanting to forgive the liens on here? The liens on here, the information I got, the spreadsheet I have from like 5 years ago is well in excess of $100,000 in liens. So obviously these properties are at this point not worth anything to who owns them. If they had to pay off the liens, they would be, you know, severely in debt. So once again, I ask that the commissioners look at this. It's also insulting that every year that this comes out, it's pushed back to the last year. In other words, we're not going to even look at it for 5 years. The first thing that should be done is the land acquisition. That could be done immediately. The other things could be done later. I can't believe contractual construction is actually at 50,000. What really needs to be done there on the right of way is there's at least a half dozen trees that have fallen across the right of way along the tracks. So people I know walk there and use that somewhat regularly. It's pretty dangerous trying to get through there right now. It'd be nice if the municipality can go through and at least cut a route through the right of way. Speaking of right of way, in the description here, it mentions requires securing a legal right for the public to use the right of way. Sounds a little like contradictory or something here. Why would you need a legal right with a right of way? If it's a right of way, I have a right to be there, or somebody has a right to be there. I don't know who could stop anybody from going back there. Next to my place, which is right behind that property, there's a long way, which is considered a paper street on Mount Lebanon books. Do I have the right to stop somebody from accessing that? I seriously doubt it. And I know right now the municipality regularly goes along Pennsylvania Boulevard in that area. In your CIP, it's called a land company street, which was dedicated to the municipality. The municipality never accepted it for whatever reason. Okay, so as far as the access and such, I don't know why that's an issue at all. Nobody should be, stopping anybody from going there. People go there regularly now. They've been doing that for at least 40 years. That's how long I've been living there. So if anybody tries anything now, there's going to be a lot of legal battles, let me tell you. Also, as far as other easements, the only easement that I could see is the Duquesne Light property, which cuts across. If they agree to a walking trail, which they shouldn't have an issue with, fine, you get the easement, you go through. If they have an issue, it's once again not a big deal. You want $12,000 for planning and design? I could do that for $12 if you want. I'll do one. And if Duquesne Light has a problem, you take the path and you go down to the right of way, you bypass their little piece of property and you go back up and through. It's that simple. I don't know if anybody's going down there to look at it. It's not a place that easily can be built on. It's very tax delinquent property. I seriously doubt that you would have given me a break not to pay my taxes the last 40 years without taking action and allowing some of those properties there a century of unpaid taxes. That's how long it is. And I seriously doubt you could even go back far enough in your tax records to even see that. So Once again, I'm asking that this be moved up and considered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Egler.
And just, real quick,
Oop,
Madam President, I just want to respond to David. I think we've mentioned this before, David, as we've talked about this over the years. I've been on commission now for 7 years. I did have a conversation with the county, the taxing body, related to getting rid of the taxes or forgiving those taxes on some of those properties to make it more palatable for, to put it back on the rolls with developers, things like that. The conversation is always steered toward, well, let's see who comes to the table and let's see what project looked like, and then we'll have those conversations. So that's always been kind of tough. It's kind of like, the chicken or the egg kind of conversation. It's always been to, yeah, we're open to it and we're willing to do it, but let's see when a real project jumps up. And as you know, that's been a tough spot for some of our developers just based on the characteristics of those properties. But I have had various meetings, both with the county and also with the school, conversations about, getting rid of completely, or just having general conversations about taxes there to put that back on the rolls. So we have had those conversations. It's been tough. I'll also say, as you know, we have a lot of projects and we've had a lot of very big projects in the last couple of years. Getting those properties back in terms of how much we have very little delinquent property in the municipality, and the delinquent property that we do have is not a huge number in terms of the dollar amount. So I don't want to say it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, but it hasn't risen to the level of priority that some of the other bigger municipal projects have risen in the last couple of years, which is why we haven't been talking about this. But Phil's actually done quite a bit of work on this. Anne has done some work on this behind the scenes. You know that Commissioner Rani, the previous commission, had done work on this, and it's still going on in the background, just not as big a priority as some of our other big projects.
Thank you, sir. If I may just respond for 1 minute, please. Just like I said, as far as developing such, I don't see anything being developed. I know the county wanted to develop it 25 years ago. We don't really want to go there and discuss that. I hope that doesn't happen. And at that time, the municipality told the county, oh, we've got that on the books to put a park in there. Well, 25 years is a long time to wait. And the last thing I want to hear is the county coming in and saying, hey, we're going to come in and put something in there. I would like the municipality to acquire it. And I get it, there's 17 tax delinquent properties. I mean, it's not big in the dollars. So once again, it's not an expensive one, but we go out and spend $1 million for a park in Scott Township that we've done nothing with. And we spend 1.7 million on a project on McNeely Road that we've done nothing with. So as far as the money, this is a drop in the bucket. First thing we need to do is acquire those properties, and I ask for your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Egler. Are there any comments online?
No comments online.
Any other comments? No? Okay. Closing.
Sorry, I just had one other thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was late on the mute button. Dave mentioned something about putting a hard copy of the CIP up front. I think that's a good idea. If we've had those things in the past. I know we do like big developer binders. We should probably put something at the front desk.
I'll look, Commissioner Grella, because you're right. Traditionally, there is one out at that front customer service center desk.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I know that there was one there. Sometimes, especially now with the revisions we've made, those things sort of walk out the door, but we'll make sure we make them available.
Yeah, and then drop it on the, the front page of the website, just so people can see the different numbers, so it doesn't get buried. I know sometimes we do the, it's in what's trending or whatever we call that front page section now. Make it visible so people can see it, since we're doing the hearing and we're going to be voting on it soon enough.
Will do.
I'd like to recognize Assistant Manager Ian McMeans.
Yes, as required by the charter, the planning board did review the capital improvement program at its August 20th meeting and recommended it as being in concordance with the adopted comprehensive plan. Thank you.
Very much. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. Everybody's okay with that? All right. On to item number 6, Commissioner Flynn.
Thank you, Madam President. Introduction of Bill number 3-24, amending the purchasing code. The Municipal Administrative Code establishes and includes a purchasing code, which establishes a process and requirements for municipal purchases and contracts. The purchasing code is based in part on the Commonwealth's first-class township code.
The proposed ordinance incorporates statutory changes to the purchasing rules in the Township Code, particularly with regard to utility-type purchases and software purchases. The proposed ordinance also specifically provides a 3-quote process for purchases under the normal bid thresholds. Madam President, I introduce Bill number 3-24.
Set the public hearing for October 22nd, 2024. Item number 7, Commissioner Grella, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for adoption of the concurring resolution number R-13-24 for a 2025 CDBG grant application for ADA sidewalk ramp upgrades. Try to follow along with all the initials here. A pre-application has been submitted to Allegheny County Economic Development, ACED, for the 2025 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG project through the South Hills Area Council of Governments, SHACOG. A full application with concurring resolution must be submitted by November 8, 2024. The project will include the installation of 5 handicap curb ramps at various intersections within the municipality. The municipal engineer has reviewed the document and recommends adoption of the resolution and transmitting it to SHACOG for submission to ACED. I move to adopt the concurring resolution number R-13-24 for the 2025 CDBG grant application for the ADA sidewalk ramp upgrade project.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Commissioner Silverman, you get item number 8.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration of commencement of pension benefits. The employees detailed on the screen there or on the audience's left, I believe, have requested commencement commensurate with the terms of the respective pension plans. Employee Joanne Singley from general employees to start her retirement to start 10/1/24, and Dale Schwegler, also general employees, 10/21/24 start date. I move to approve benefit commencement for Joanne Singley and Dale Schwegler.
Second.
Any discussion other than we do wish both of them a good retirement? They have been really great employees. Thank you for your service. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Seeing no dissension, motion carries. And that's it. We are adjourned. All right.
Good night.